This is my lemon tahini chicken. It's a brilliant, quick and healthy midweek meal that is a recipe from my brand new cookbook, Eat Yourself Healthy, and I'm gonna cook it in my Tefal stainless steel pan. So get your pan and let's put it on a medium-high heat. So once you've preheated it, we're gonna do the water bead test. That's a really good signal that you're at a good searing temperature. What does that mean? It just means taking a little water, when you think it's nice and hot, we'll put that in the middle and it should just bounce and sizzle on the top of the stainless steel. Just like that. It's kind of beautiful. So now we're at that good searing temperature. I'm gonna start off by this nice kind of dry frying, kind of charring, steaming way of cooking sprouting broccoli. You could do this with asparagus and little sugar snap peas. It's really, really beautiful. What I wanna do is just take the tip of a knife and run it down the stalk like that. And this method of cooking greens, it could be French beans, asparagus, is a really, really nice way to char it. You get a little bit of color from the natural sugars in the veggies, but also it kind of internally sort of steams. And we're not gonna use any oil. We're just gonna use searing heat. And I like to just trim up whatever veg you've got. And in this case, with the broccoli, you can put your knife down the stalk, so it just kind of makes the heat penetration a little bit easier. I'm gonna place the veggies in the pan like this, and you can hear it kind of, and you're gonna get this kind of charring. You're gonna get this kind of nice natural color from the sugars in the broccoli, and you can smell it. It smells toasty and smoky, but also internally, it's gonna be steaming. So while that's doing its magic, let's talk about the chicken. Very, very common and popular form of protein. You can swap this out for fish if you wish, or things like, tofu, stuff like that. What I wanna do with this chicken breast is even up the cooking time. Can you see how one side is thinner than the other? So that's about 1 centimeter thick here, that's about 1 inch thick here. So I'm gonna even it up by slashing the chicken, and this is a clever thing to do. What we're gonna do is use a knife and just score that fat side about 1 centimeter deep. So you're gonna use your knife to score into the chicken, and that's gonna even up the cooking time of the fat end to the thin end. But also what's beautiful about this is if you wanna rub this with salt and pepper and herbs or spice, this is a beautiful thing, right? And we can get that seasoning and spice or whatever you want to put on it into those cuts. We can put a little olive oil on the chicken as well. Gonna wash my hands. Turn the broccoli over like that. You can see it's caught and charred on the outside, and it's gonna be fresh and steamed on the inside. What I'll do once it's had a nice little bit of cooking time is place the broccoli onto a little plate like this, and then we can simply dress it with a little salt, pepper, a little kiss of olive oil, and then a little drizzle of lemon juice. And that, just tossed, will be really, really delicious. It's a really clever way to cook your greens. Full of life, character, and flavor. Right, back to the pan. We're gonna add some oil to the pan, move that around. We're gonna go in with our chicken, scored side down. You can hear that sizzle. And I'm gonna wash up this knife and board. The nice thing about scoring it is you don't just speed up the cooking and even up the cooking, but you're also giving it a surface area that will cling to flavors. Once it's had a couple of minutes, turn it over and just look at that chicken. It's gonna be beautiful. Okay, while that's cooking, in a liquidizer, I'm gonna add a jar of these beautiful roasted red peppers. Now, they've been roasted, they've been peeled, and the flavor is amazing. This is a really good hack to big flavor. I'm gonna liquidize this with some herbs, so I'm gonna use basil today, and just take a nice little handful. So what I like to do is pick, say, the stalk of basil. The little delicate leaves, I like just to put into some water here, and that's the sprinkling over the top. Just looks really pretty. They're a really delicate expression of basil. And then the bigger leaves and the stalk, they can go in here, we'll waste nothing, and we'll liquidize that with a couple of garlic cloves, and we just whiz it up. So that is going to give you the most amazing sauce to flavor beautiful beans and really healthy grains. So the chicken's had about 5 or 6 minutes, and Got these lovely cooked chicken breasts. Look at that sizzly golden top. So you can see in the bottom of the pan, there's all these golden kind of dark bits of stickiness, right? Don't wash that off, that is flavor. So we'll go in with that beautiful pepper sauce, right? And it smells amazing. So we go back on the heat, and then we're gonna bring to life some really lovely healthy things, right? We all need to be eating more beans and more grains, okay? So the beans can be cannellini beans, bolotti beans, mixed beans, butter beans, could even be chickpeas. And all I do is just take away some of this liquid, and once you've drained it, just put those beans into that amazing pepper sauce. That pepper sauce will get the flavor off the bottom of the pan and almost clean the pan for you. In with the beans, and then I've got a pack of really beautiful super grains. You can get these in the supermarkets. These are my ones, but they're just a really nice, healthy mix of unusual and delicious grains. There's all kinds of different types. They're super nutritious and delicious. So in we go with those, and then we'll just break those up. This sauce, cooking into the beans and grains, is utterly delicious. It's gonna fill you up with the good stuff. It's gonna feel really comforting and delicious and indulgent, but it's actually just really, really good for you. So mix up those beans and grains and just let that simmer away. So let me show you how to make the tahini lemon sauce. It's delicious. Just take 2 tablespoons of tahini, and this is ground and minced sesame seeds. And you can get blonde tahini or light tahini or the toasted and dark tahini. Very, very good. So that goes in there. I'm gonna add just a little bit of lemon juice and a little pinch of salt and just a little swig of water. When you add the lemon juice to the tahini, it starts to thicken up in a really unusual way. So we let it down with a little water, but this is such a delicious flavor. Fresh with the lemon, really rich with the tahini, 2 ingredients and a pinch of salt, and you get this incredible simple sauce that works so well with the chicken and the beans. Look at the beans, can you see? We're just simmering it now, and that sauce has been absorbed by the grains and the beans. They're gonna be incredible. And can you see how it's cleaned the bottom of the pan, right? So all those sticky bits have come off, and that's gonna give color and flavor. Right, time to plate up. Often when you think about healthy food, you always think it's about like what you can't have and about being sort of stingy and doing without, but this is a really generous portion. It's really comforting, it's big flavors. So I'm gonna take the broccoli that's just been kind of marinating there nicely. Look at that, beautiful colors. And using the sear of that pan, you've created extra flavor and textures as well. Beautiful. And you can see the chicken where it's rested. We've got the lovely juices that have come out, and it should be juicy and shiny. Look at that. I'm just gonna slice it up, and we want that to be moist and tender. Put that over like that. Pearly white chicken on the inside and gnarly golden chicken on the outside. That is attitude, that is flavor, and it's beautifully cooked with the sear from that amazing pan. These little resting juices we can just pour over the top. Don't waste anything. And then that amazing and utterly simple sauce of the tahini over the top. Oh, just a little sauce goes a long way. And then just a few olives torn over the top. A little hit of kind of black olive fragrance. It's delicious, it's nutritious, it's fun, it's exciting, it's generous. This is what we want from healthy food. Those little basil leaves that we saved. But guys, look at that, come on. For me, that is a fun, delicious, cool, contemporary midweek meal, bigging up healthy ingredients that have been put together in a really exciting way. These are things you can get from a regular supermarket. And you've got veggies in there, galore. You've got lovely protein there with the chicken. Those beautiful beans and the grains with that sweet pepper sauce. Let's have a little try, come on. Let's try the chicken first with the tahini. The chicken is so juicy. And with that tahini lemon sauce, it is utterly, utterly delicious. That roasted pepper sauce is so utterly simple, but the flavor is massive. So there you go, that is a delicious little midweek meal that you can put together with a lot of passion and fun. Happy days. Hi guys, hope you're well. Okay, we're gonna make a really delicious, nutritious, super quick chicken meal. This is marinated chicken with lemon and spices, grilled on the char grill and served with smashed sweet potato and beautiful sprouting broccoli with a little olives. Let's get into the spirit and the idea behind a marinade. Down here, we have got spices, black pepper here, paprika, cayenne, we got the turmeric, and a little seasoning of salt. Take this as a recipe, and if you don't like the spice, you can pull it back, you can try different spices, you can make it your own. So I'm gonna grate some garlic in here, take my little lemon, cut in half, lemon to one side. The fragrant skin is unbelievably tasty. We'll squeeze the lemon juice in, like this. I'm just gonna finely chop the parsley here, and in it goes. And then just a little piece of onion. There's acidity in the onion, and this acidity works in marinades to really help penetrate the flavor in. I've got a little bit of tomato puree here, just a little heaped teaspoon like that. And then we'll start bringing it together. And normally I'd use an olive oil, but I'm using rapeseed oil here. Look at that, right? That is flavor right there. Get your chicken breast, cut that chicken breast in half. I'm gonna get that marinade, rub it all over. And of course, if you could leave this in the fridge overnight, fantastic. So I've got a griddle pan on full whack. We're gonna go in to the char grill like this. Also, I've got the lemon here. We're gonna char grill that. And this is interesting because when you char grill a lemon, instead of just getting acidic lemon juice, you get sweet and sour. So guys, look, let's have a little look. This has had about a minute and a half. Look at the color, guys, look at the color. And that is flavor. It's caramelizing, look at that. So I wanna kind of pair it up with sprouting broccoli here. Boiled sweet potato, gonna smash it. And let's plate up. Very simple midweek dinner that's tasty and really, really healthy. That is done. Look at that, guys. Some nice sprouting broccoli here, little olives. If you just break over just a couple, the flavor is phenomenal. Got the lemon that's char grilled. Just finish that of that lovely rapeseed oil. Squeeze that lemon over the top. Should we have a little try? Yum. Very, very good. That's absolutely delicious. A lovely, quick, midweek meal, full of flavor, full of flavor. And if you want more inspiration, go to jamieoliver.com. We've got loads of recipes, loads of chicken recipes. But guys, get marinating. It's great. Take care. So I'm going to do a beautiful superfood curry from my new cookbook, Jamie's Everyday Superfoods. This dish is super exciting because we're going to be steaming cauliflower, we're going to be boiling rice, we're going to be roasting the chicken, we're embracing herbs, we're embracing spices. This food is going to fill you up with the good stuff. First job, we're going to get the rice on. So one of the easiest trade-ups that you lovely people can do to get healthier is go from your white pastas, white breads, white rices to whole grain. It's got more fiber, it's actually got a more complex flavor. It does need more cooking, so you're going from like a 10-minute rice product to something that maybe takes 20. So 100 grams of rice goes in, a little pinch of salt. So got the rice on, we're gonna whack the colander on to sort of make use of one pan, a little trick there. I'm gonna use cauliflower. Go through the stalk, let's just leave it in little quarters like that. Whack that into the colander. The leaves, throw in there as well. Lid on, so we're cooking rice and we're steaming cauliflower as well. Now, I've got some lovely organic yogurt, 3 tablespoons, and I'm gonna make a very simple dressing. I got 15 grams, a little handful of mint here. Take the little center leaf out of here, and we're gonna put that to the side. And then these bigger leaves here, throw into the liquidizer. Season it with a little salt. I want the juice just half a lemon, but often people take the juice and throw the outside away. This zest here is quite nice. That's more flavor. Let's go in there. I'm gonna squeeze the lemon juice through my hands to catch any pips. Okay, so let's whiz it up. You're gonna get an amazing color, like a beautiful pastel green, so refreshing to eat. Oh, It smells incredible. So that can go straight into a little dish. Cauliflower, nearly there. I just want to take the rawness out of it. Just sort of like 5-10 minutes is cool. We're going to go back into this dirty liquidizer. Don't bother washing it up. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of gorgeous yogurt in here. And I want to make a marinade, okay? 2 cloves of garlic. Bit of ginger, about 3 centimeters. Just whack that in. Pinch of salt and pepper. Then we're going to spice it up. A gorgeous tablespoon of curry powder, okay? Have a look at that. Smells amazing. The same amount of turmeric. It's a massive anti-inflammatory. Tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. It's not classic at all, but it's got a real kind of twang and richness that I love. Use the other half of the lemon. Wazz this up again. But this time we're getting big colour. That wonderful orange colour, garlic, ginger. That is done. Oh, so get yourself a nice roasting tray. Go in with the amazing yogurt marinade. What I want to do is create surface area on the chicken. See how one end is thin and one end is fat? We can balance out that thickness. Let's just do a little patchwork quilt. Let's just score the chicken at that fat end. Just go down about 1/2 centimetre. And that's going to allow you to create surface area, which equals crunch and character. I want you to get little burnt bits, because there's a fine line between burnt bits and perfection. Tip this chicken into that marinade. Perfect time to introduce the cauliflower is now. While it's lightly cooked, it's so open to carrying flavours. So rice is still cooking, fine. Just give it a little shake. Toss up your collie. Some of that yogurt will just simply burn on the bottom. And then some of it's going to cling to the chicken and the cauliflower. You can get that flavour right in there. Lightly season it from a height with some salt, not too much. A little bit of pepper. There's a few little extra things you can do. So this is black mustard seeds. These will soften and give amazing flavour. This is what they make mustard out of. Sprinkling them from a height and they will make a difference. The same with cumin. Just a little pinch, sort of a teaspoon. Whack that in the oven, at the top of the oven by the way, at 220 degrees Celsius, gas mark 7. So it's been cooking for about 13 minutes. Let's have a little look. It's looking good. This rice has now had about 25 minutes. Let's load it up, baby. Really, really, really nice. Let's get the chicken out now. That's exactly what I want. These little charred bits here, these little caught bit here and burnt bits here. Lovely attitude. Get some nice baby spinach in and around the plate like this. Chisel around, and you're gonna get crispy bits. You're gonna get little bits of, see how this sort of yogurt just kind of cooked on the bottom. It's delicious. I'm gonna put the chicken on the board here. Cauliflower goes in. Look at the colors, white, green, yellow. With the chicken, slice it up nicely. Have a look at this. Really, really good. This gorgeous mint dressing here. Fill those cups of spinach up. We've got the dressing on, 1/4 or 1/2 of finely sliced chili. Absolutely delicious. Sprinkle these on top. You've got carbs, you've got protein, you've got beautiful citrus and herbs in there, you've got your veg in there. This is rattling in at about 550 calories, those lovely mint sprigs. This is when we sprinkle it on top. Enough talking, let's get a little bit of everything. So good. You don't want to eat healthy food because someone tells you to. It's got to be delicious. It's got to make sense. This is a delicious little soup that I know you're going to love. Full of colour, full of texture, full of nutrition. And this is a brand new recipe from my new cookbook, Eat Yourself Healthy. And it can happen in about 25-30 minutes. It's a really nice thing to do. So this is a celebration of veggies. And actually, veggies in many different forms. I'm going to be using artichokes, which are jarred. I'm gonna be using fresh leeks, which is fantastic. You can swap these out for onions if you wish. And then some frozen veggies from the freezer, broad beans and peas. This is a real celebration of veggies, but I think it's really important that we don't get so kind of worthy about seasons and it has to be from a farmer's market. I love all that, by the way, even if you grow your own, but also like being busy, corner shops, supermarkets, and kind of working with things so you can enjoy spring all year round, or more importantly, you can enjoy the nutrition of spring all year round. So let's start it off. Pan on, nice big pan. We'll kick off with these artichokes. These are actually already cut into quarters. If yours aren't, cut them into quarters. We'll place that into a pan. I'll pour in a couple of tablespoons of the oil that it comes in, and let's just put the artichokes into the pan like that. Add some vinegar to it and some mustard. Put the lid on, shake it up, and you make a lovely French dressing, and that'll be good for a week in the fridge. So I'll put that over here. What I want to do is start off the frying by just putting these artichokes in one little layer. Let's go to the world of fresh. So we love leeks. Sweet, creamy and delicious. What I tend to do is just take the outer leaf off like that and just run my knife down like that, pull this off, and once I've done that, get the tip of my knife and run it down the length of the leaf. We'll compost this. So I'll trim the green part off here, and I'll use this for making a stew or something nice like that. Wash away any of those gritty bits. And then what I want to do is just run my knife down the length again. What's nice about giving them a wash as well is you create a little bit of moisture. It's going to really soften up nicely. And then in we go with all these veggies. So look, mix everything up, give it a light seasoning with salt and pepper, and we'll let the excess water from washing the leeks create a nice little bit of steam. And what we want to do is cook this on a medium heat for 15 minutes, just to really help those leeks become sweet, delicious, and beautifully buttery. So let that cook, and then I'll show you what to do next. After 15 minutes, you can see the leeks have really cooked down. It smells amazing. You've created good flavor and texture here. If you want to kind of get real good food into your life and you're busy, like using jarred food, tinned food, fresh food, and even frozen food, this is important. And there's a few things that we should probably know about the freezer. The freezer's amazing. It's like your best friend. So when you pick veggies, their nutrition is depleting all the time, but when you snap freeze it, it's really, really helpful and useful. This is broad beans. Really common. You get them in most of the supermarkets. Really, really delicious. So we'll stir that in. A classic, frozen peas. People just love it. And again, embracing the freezer and frozen veggies. It's super cool. They're sitting there in the freezer waiting to be used. So what I've tried to do in this book and in this recipe is show you how easy it is to get more veggies into your life, which are super nutritious and often incredibly affordable. So here I've got 60-gram bunch of mint. Just grab it at the top, rip that off like that, and do the same on the other half, right? So we can keep these stalks for putting in stews or cooking potatoes. So do not waste that. We'll put that to one side. And then with this, we just roughly chop it, and boldly and bravely, we're going in with the mint. So mint, broad beans, peas, leeks, they love each other. It's a good combo. So stir in the mint, cook it down, and we're almost treating it like spinach. Now, I'm gonna add a litre of boiled water. You could add a chicken stock cube or a veggie stock cube if you wanted to, but actually, I think we've achieved enough flavour by slow cooking those leeks already. Bring that now to the boil. We don't have to cook the life out of it because we want to keep the colour, the texture, and the nutrition, right? But I want to give you a really nice little trick, and it feels really indulgent. So I can take just a couple of little ladles of this beautiful soup and whiz it up. We can simply pour it back in, salt and pepper, and let that tick over while we make some beautiful toasts. And I've got a lovely loaf of bread here. So 4 nice centimetre slices of good bread. The better the bread, the better the flavour. So this is going to go under the grill. So we'll let that grill. It won't take long at all. In that time, we're going to grill it. What I want to do is show you a way of using a really delicious cheese that's very, very healthy. This is ricotta, kind of neutral, light, delicious, and super healthy, high protein cheese. You can get it in the supermarkets. And what I love to do is just put a pot of the ricotta in like that, season it with a little salt. I'll take a little lemon zest and then some Parmesan, 20 grams in weight of Parmesan, a little bit of lemon zest in and on it, like that. We'll season it a little bit with salt and pepper, and then we just take a little spatula and smash it, whip it, mix it. You can go coarse or you can go smooth and shiny, like that. So, soup done, that lovely ricotta done, lovely hot toast. Look at that. Put a nice little dollop of that ricotta on each toast. Any extra you have, you can put in the fridge. That'll last for 2-3 days easily. Just use the back of the spoon just to push that ricotta around to the edge. If you've got any extra ricotta, You can put that in a little bowl in the fridge. It's good for like 2-3 days, and you can use it as a dip. To make this even more delicious, I just want to take a little bit of lemon zest and a little bit of extra Parmesan. Look at that. And a little Parmesan goes such a long way. Just a few extra mint leaves just on top. I love it. And very important, flaked dried chilies. That little bit of heat with the peas and broad beans works so well with the lemon, the creamy ricotta, the peas, the broad beans. It's a beautiful thing. So let's just plate some of this up. I'm just going to take a nice big bowl of this creamy and chunky soup. Look at that. So look, I'm going to serve up 2 lovely bowls of this soup. Any leftovers you can keep in the fridge for like 3 or 4 days. And if you just serve that with a nice little toast on the side like that, I think that is just a beautiful way to enjoy veggies. You can slurp it, you can get involved, it's comforting, you can dip in your beautiful toast. So for me, just that simple act of making a delicious homemade soup with accessible ingredients is a cool thing. So look at that. Count to 3, let it absorb, and then get amongst it. So let's start off with the first ingredient. We're going to use some sausages. I've got 4 chipolatas.
Health experts recommend that we don't eat more than 70 grams of processed meats per day, but we're using less than that. Fry your chipolatas in a little extra virgin olive oil. Chuck in a teaspoon of fennel seeds, which are traditionally used to help digestion, and a nice sprinkle of dried chili flakes.
Then I'm going to go for about half of one of these. And I'm just going to dice it up, roughly around that sort of size. And as you're cutting them, throw them in to the sausage.
Squash is a source of vitamin C, and keeping the skin on ramps up the fibre. Next, it's in with 2 diced white onions.
Then let's use some dried oregano, more flavonoids going in. Any excuse for flavour and the good stuff.
Gently fry together for 15 to 20 minutes with a lid on, until they start to just colour nicely.
And look at that, caramelisation, intensity of flavour. This is going to be amazing.
Time for the wine. I'm using a glass of Chianti.
In we go. So we'll stir that in, and red wine risotto is not that common, but it's amazing, so I need you to know about it. Now, of course, we're still able to benefit from the flavonoids in the grape juice because they're fairly heat resistant.
And if you're cooking for kids, just leave the wine out. In with the arborio risotto rice. 300 grams will easily feed 4. Next, add your stock, 1 ladle at a time. The better the quality, the better it's going to taste.
We'll probably add about 1.5 litres of stock. Chicken stock, veg stock, whatever stock you've got, it will still be delicious. So I'm turning the heat down now so it's a nice, steady simmer. Okay? If it boils too hard, you evaporate too much stock, and you kind of rush the outer side of the risotto rice, and the inner part is a little bit nutty, a little bit too firm. Let's have a little taste. Oh, we're getting there. Immense, immense flavour.
The risotto's been bubbling along for about 15 minutes, so time for the final ingredients.
Now I'm using chicory here for a couple of reasons. This recipe, I'd normally use radicchio, but it seems to be getting harder and harder to get hold of it in the supermarkets. But the red chicory, no, you can get it in the supermarkets. Look it out. And also, this is an amazing prebiotic. What does that mean? It makes your gut really happy, really happy. So we're going to use that with gusto. 2 or 3. Chicory, like radicchio, is classically a tiny bit bitter. But the bitterness here, with the sweetness of the squash, is going to be amazing.
Next, something that will promote risotto to the superfood division without losing the indulgence: cottage cheese.
I never used to like cottage cheese, but to be honest, I didn't really understand it. It's a naturally low-fat cheese, but you've got the curds here that have the most beautiful mozzarella-like texture. But around it,
is this kind of milky texture, and that is going to give this risotto amazing silkiness, and this is going to eat really, really well. First, in with the chicory, then the cottage cheese. Delicious. Please, please try this dish, okay? Because it's nuts good. This is an off-the-chart risotto. A couple more minutes, and it's good to go. That's what we want. We want that sensation, right? Where it's just kind of lipping like that. All right, so maybe don't do that. Yeah, maybe use a spoon. Whack a lid on and leave your risotto to relax for a minute before doling it out into warm bowls. This, my friends, is a gorgeous, oozy risotto. You don't want it thick or after. Something that's really silky and beautiful. I'm just going to finish that with a nice, long grating of Parmesan and a little pinch of fresh thyme. And that is a thing of beauty. Creamy risotto with sausage, squash and chicory. A surefire crowd pleaser at just 600 calories with 2 of your 5 fruit and veg a day. Delicious, deep flavour. And you know, for me, the spirit of superfood as a concept is about, you know, balance, getting the veg in there, lowering the meat, upping the quality. And the missus, she loves this a lot. But please, please give it a go. Amazing. I'm taking inspiration from Ikaria and using gorgeous Greek feta packed with calcium with a tangy, salty flavour. It's the perfect accompaniment for a special occasion succulent steak and tabule salad, and will bring a little bit of the party island to your home. Steak, love a steak. People love steak, and definitely one of the things that we've picked up looking at the parts of the world where people live the longest, most productive lives is that they're not eating loads and loads of meat. Once, twice a week, max. So quality, not quantity, definitely important. I've got it out of the fridge about half an hour at least before I want to cook it. You don't want to take things out of a cold place and put it in a hot place. It's going to go tough and not cook as beautifully, so we're getting that out. To go with the steak, I've already got 150 grams of whole grain rice on the go. It needs to boil for 25 minutes. What we're going to do is create some really decent flavour. Now, first up, I've got a jar here of peppers. You can get these in all the supermarkets. They've been grilled and peeled. 200 grams, okay? So you've got 1 of your 5 a day here already. But that juice, now you can throw that, by all means, in the bin, but that is all flavour. So that is going to go into our rice. It's got smoky, salty goodness in there. Let's have it. Simply tear open the peppers and stick them on the griddle pan. So get it nice and hot, and it's going to give you that lovely charred flavour. Also, it's been in a jar, so it kind of needs waking up a little bit and softening up a little bit. So I'm going to lay the peppers in here. Now, I've seen people cooking in griddle pans and pouring in a load of oil. Don't do it. You don't need it. A dry pan. Get it really, really hot. And of course, by not using fat, we're not wasting calories. So let's just char those peppers. Bring them back to life. And then let's get on the meat. All I want to do here is just push it down flat. So we're beginning to tenderize it. I want to season it with salt. Quite a nice amount of black pepper, because we know that pepper and steak love each other. And just a little bit of oil, just to rub around the outside. So I'm just going to pat that all over, and that's a really lovely kind of outside kind of crust that we can create on the steak, and that's all we need, okay? So the peppers are done, put them on a platter and save them to serve with the steak later. So what I want to do is dress the peppers in the actual juices coming out of the steak. So it's really about being clever about flavour. That's all looking good. The steak can go straight on the bars here. Push it down. Let's get nice char marks. I'll turn it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get a nice crisscross sensation on the outside of the steak. Push it down, and we should be laughing. Again, no oil going in this pan, just the minimal oil on that steak and high seasoning is going to be great. It'll just need 2 to 3 minutes on each side for medium rare. Beautiful. So next up, this kind of brown rice tabule, okay? This is a brilliant way to love herbs. I'm doing my superfood version of tabule, It's a Middle Eastern dish, traditionally made with herbs and bulgur wheat, but I'm using brown rice instead. So to start off, grab yourself a small bunch of parsley and mint.
Right, we're gonna go to the most basic chopping action ever, okay? And that's the cross chopping. Hand here, and then holding the handle here, and just rocking it through like that. This is so simple. And basically keep doing it until it's nice and fine.
Next, chop up 2 spring onions. And then for the dressing, you'll need the zest and juice of 1 lemon and a glug of cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil.
So we're doing double lemon juice to olive oil. I want to get it really zingy. So look, the brown rice is done. It's had about 25 minutes. All I want to do is drain that. But when the rice is hot like this is the perfect time to dress it in all that gorgeous stuff.
Add a pinch of cayenne pepper to your olive oil and lemon juice. Then go in with the rice and all the herbs.
Of course, you can serve it hot, warm, or cold. It'll keep in the fridge as well, which is really, really nice. But I always think sort of room temperature is absolutely the best. Actually smells fantastic. Let's have a little taste. Nice. Right, I do need to season it, but I'm going to use feta cheese later. And if you buy feta cheese in these little tubs here, there's a little tip. There's that juice in there. The smallest little swig of that juice that the feta cheese comes in is amazing, because obviously it's seasoning, but it's more than that, it's flavour. So we'll take that. We're always taking flavour, and we don't want to waste. The steak is beautiful. I want to put that straight on to our peppers here. Can you see it resting? And that's what we want, where it's resting and there's just juices pouring out of it, okay? That's gonna kind of sink in through the peppers, so you're gonna get peppery beef juices. It's gonna be absolutely lovely.
Next, toast up 25 grams of unsalted pistachios on a medium heat. Nuts are an easy way to add a nutrition boost to any meal, so they're going in.
While that's happening, pomegranates. I just want half a pomegranate. I'm a massive fan. I absolutely love them. And I want to get their flavour into the salad. Little capsules of sweetness. Hold it in my hand like that, put it like that, and just get a spoon and give it a ruddy good spanking. So all those little capsules just sort of bust and burst.
Pomegranates are a source of B vitamins, which help keep our metabolism, immune and nervous systems healthy.
And then just stir that through. Imagine just eating the salad, and then you come across that beautiful little capsule of sweetness, boop, and it's just shock and surprise, but a really nice one, so I like that.
Time to remove your pistachios from the pan and give them a good old bash up in a pestle and mortar.
I'm just gonna sprinkle into the salad. So, this is looking good to go. I'm just gonna pile that beautiful salad onto there. The steak here has been resting. You can see how much juice has come out here. If I just put the peppers to one side, there's loads of that good stuff there. So the peppers here, we can just dress that in all the beautiful juices.
Thinly slice that gorgeous juicy steak and drape it all over that lovely rice salad.
And then I want just a tiny bit of feta cheese, literally 10 grams, just sprinkled over the top like that. I love feta. It's one of the lowest fat cheeses. It looks beautiful, and it's kind of nice to use it like a seasoning.
Add the feta. It's a really tasty way to get some more calcium into your diet.
Once the feta's gone on, a final little sprinkle of pistachio. And there, my friends, is the lovely grilled steak and peppers with jeweled tabule rice. That's an absolute crowd pleaser.
And this just goes to show how a little steak can go a long way.
It's totally balanced, it's nutritious. So all round, it's a great, healthy, delicious, beautiful dinner. Look at that. Just gonna have to eat it now.
That super fast, super delicious grilled steak and feta dinner comes in at just under 600 calories per portion.
It's good. It's really good.
A naughty burger is the dish that Ellie misses most of all since turning vegan. So I've devised her a veggie version that's juicy, vibrant, and packed with flavour and colour.
You want that kind of junky, naughty sort of burger vibe going on. Obviously, there's no meat in the equation, but we still want it to be just finger-licking, like, gorgeous, a thing you've got to attack. First up, we've got really nutritious, incredible things that are in your freezer. So even if you go away for 3 months, you can come back and knock this out. Sweet corn,
Yeah, I've got some sweet corn.
200 grams. Frozen. Peas, 200 grams. Frozen. Raw beans, 200 grams.
Cool.
So we can remember that, yeah?
Yeah.
Very, very simple.
Add a heaped tablespoon of flour and give it some punch with a teaspoon of cayenne, a teaspoon of cumin, and a bunch of coriander.
And all I'm going to do is wazz it up. It's that little bit of flour and the temperature that makes it kind of glue together. As you can see, there's only nice things going in here.
Add a tablespoon each of sunflower and sesame seeds, and we're ready to shape the burger patties.
Think snowballs when you're a kid, like that. So just roll it in that flour and just sort of hug it. Just put
Why
it...
is yours so good? Well,
I was good
obvious.
at mud pies when I was a kid.
Oh no, mine's falling apart. No! I don't even want to move that now because that's
Fine.
perfect.
That is... Oh, let me just... Yeah, maybe not that one. OK. But good job. Apart from that, good job.
Aww.
Just really squeeze it together. Yeah, be tough.
OK, that's a bit better.
OK, that's it. A little bit of brute force does help. So, darling, are you all right to make that recipe like 4 or 5 times? I've got more stuff here.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Do you remember the recipe?
200,
All that stuff?
200 all of this, and then a little teaspoon of these things.
Lovely.
That'll do.
Do you think they're ready for your food?
Probably not.
OK. Well, good luck.
What did he do that? Was there anything else? I don't think so. Ah.
Everyone, Ellie's cooking now. Normally you'd have mayonnaise, or a version of mayonnaise in a burger. We're not going there because of the egg. So I kind of developed a sauce for Yao, and it's really simple.
It's a riff on a hummus, but with a lot looser texture and loads more flavour. To a blender, add 2 heaped tablespoons of chickpeas, 1 teaspoon of sun-dried tomato paste, 1 teaspoon of mustard, and a tablespoon of ketchup.
And then just a little brandy in the classic kind of cocktail sauce. The old school one. Just a dribble.
I put
then
more in.
I want a kind of little hum of flavour.
Add 2 spring onions, half a clove of garlic, and season.
I've got a little bit of a problem for chilies. Do you like spice?
I love spice.
Yeah, it's not going to be super hot, you know, but just a little bit of chili to give it like that nice background kind of heat. And then I'm going to whiz it up.
Just like a traditional mayo, I like to drizzle in plenty of extra virgin olive oil. And finally, a good squeeze of lemon.
Take good old-fashioned iceberg lettuce, hold this up and give it a bang. No, hold it up, hold it in your hand, and then just slam it down. Beautiful. What I'm going to do is just roll this up and finely slice it.
And good chopping. I keep saying.
How's your chopping, by the way?
Terrible. No, God, I'm left-handed as well.
Are you?
Yeah.
That changes everything.
So what were you...
Stop. OK, we need to do a little lesson on that. Stop. Jesus. These are worth a fortune. Oh, yeah. So, stop. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. There you go. Good job.
Next, in with the sauce and give it a good old toss around.
Lovely. And that just sits in it, so it kind of goes a little bit soggy. And that'll go on the bun, your patty on top.
Patties made, sauce made, now it's time for the trimmings. A burger's not a burger without garnishes. So we're slicing up some tomatoes and fresh basil. Next up, avocado. And I've got a great tip to stop it going brown.
Just squeeze that lime juice over the top. That'll stop it discolouring, and you can keep it there for like an hour.
I'm learning a lot today.
Before Ellie starts knocking these out for the rest of the calf, I'm going to show her how to make the perfect burger.
Look at that, nice and crispy.
Amazing.
And you've got that golden crunch, and then in here you've got that kind of really fluoro green.
Such a good colour.
On the top of here, we're going to add just a little bit, not too much, of that lovely salad base that you did. Just take a little bit of your lovely tomato, like that. Then, so we push that down, and then on top of that, we're going to go to our avocado.
This is going to be, like, literally the best burger ever.
A few naughty pickles.
Love pickles.
And then a little hit up of old school retro cress. And then 1 crunchy onion ring, boom. And then last but not least, ketchup.
Obviously.
On top. So there's a lot to remember here, babes.
I know.
And then, my friends, we build
the Ellie burger.
Wait.
A nice little handful of cute stuff, and it's always
This is
important
awesome.
just to give it a little bit of body. Go on, give it a little push. And then the only thing to do is to pick it up with 2 hands. Don't cut it in half, and just do that thing of putting it in your gob and eating it. You can do that in private. Get it in your gob, in that corner, no one will see you.
I can't do it, honestly, I can't. It's too big.
I know. I'm hoping that you love it.
It is amazing, yeah. Best burger I've ever had.
That's good.
More than a meat burger back in the day.
Well, see all these lonely people in the audience. Look, they look sad, don't you? They're not hungry.
Have I got it from my mouth?
You've got to cook one for every single person here.
I must say, it is really, really, really good.
Well, don't just say it. It's time to cook it.
We're gonna make the most delicious veggie shepherd's pie. This is in fact vegan. This is gonna be good on the planet, it's gonna be good on your wallet, and it's gonna be good in your tummy, right? It's gonna be delicious. No compromise happening here. So let's get cooking. We're gonna go in with some nice olive oil. About 2 tablespoons goes in, right? We'll put it onto a medium heat. I'm gonna start the flavor story with a herb. To use a nice little pile of rosemary in this dish is a good trigger for big flavor. Roughly chop the rosemary. So the rosemary goes in. As you get a little bit of a fry on there, let's add some garlic. So we're now gonna add the first veggies. Just, you know, standard mushrooms, button mushrooms, little kind of brown mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, whatever you can get your hand on. You can break these up like that. Also, dried mushrooms are a massive, like, trick if you're veggie vegan and you're craving that depth of flavour that you can easily access from meat. So mushrooms I put in first, season a little bit now to get that seasoning into the veggies. You can go quite heavy on the pepper. On the story of spices, that is about a tablespoon of ground coriander goes in. Delicious. Okay, a little cheat, a little hack. It's not cheaper, actually, but it's a good conversation starter. In the supermarket, you have got frozen chopped veg. So convenience here, what we have here is celery, carrots, onions, right? So a whole bag goes in. It's frozen. You can take a handful. This is a really brilliant product to have in your freezer. I'm going to turn the heat up now. And I want to let this fry off for about 5 minutes to concentrate the flavours, get them golden and get them caramelised. Most of the time, those frozen bags of chopped veg are more expensive than buying the raw stuff. But let's look at the upside. It's frozen, you can take a little bit or use the whole lot. It's already chopped for you. It's blended as a mix, which is kind of convenient, and there's no waste. I'm taking this down, and it's currently quite moist in here, but what's nice is all the flavours are mixing around. We're getting darker, guys, we're getting darker. That's what we want. So this has been frying for like 15 minutes, and you'll notice that the volume has gone down. Look at that. It already smells good. Okay, so when doing a beautiful ragu, bolognese, you know, mincemeat dish, you know, using wine or beer is quite common. There are eggs used in the fining process of red wine, okay? So have a look on the back of the label, you know, to make sure, is it vegan or not vegan? So go in with a good glass. Cheers. So can you see how we've now gone back in seconds to a dry pan, okay? At this point, now I add our proteins in the form of lentils, and then I'll go in with tinned chickpeas. So once we've done that, what we need is a little bit of stock. Now you can buy veggie stock, right? But I just want to give you like a little cheat on how you can make your own. Just boil a kettle and use, this is porcini, but I really genuinely do use dried mushrooms. You just put a little handful like that in, right? That's all you need. The flavour is phenomenal. Also, if you wanted to pep up some flavour, like you can cheat with a little bit of Marmite, just a little spoon like that goes in. Just a little thimble of soy sauce. The other one is miso, amazing flavour. So these are all really good tips. Then if you've got any herbs lying around, you know, you can put those in, right? But essentially we're making a cup of tea.
it's an infusion. You know, if you're using carrots and you've got peel, you know, right, you can still, you know, be clever about it. This will taste phenomenal. So let's just move it about. Oh, it's good. How much effort was that? There's one last ingredient. You could use tomato puree, you could use tinned tomatoes. I'm using just a little clutch, you know, 10 or 12 sun-dried tomatoes. Sunshine, optimism, hope, little pops of sweetness. You know, as we add our stock now, this is essentially the equivalent of our mincemeat, our bolognese-esque type ragu. And the mushrooms can go in, by the way, not the herbs. The little masher, just gently crush, just to lose, you know, that blatant shape of the chickpea. Okay, so we're done. Turn it off. Normally at home, I would just fill this pan with mashed potato now. But I do want to make it a bit more fancy, just because, you know, we're making a cooking show. It's a little bit wetter than you would think, but remember, it's going to carry on baking in the oven, and I do want it to kind of be blippy and gorgeous. So into that dish, I'm going to go on top with my mashed potato, just boiled, mashed. Instead of butter, nice extra virgin olive oil and salt and pepper, a little bit of nutmeg. It's really nice. You can make it really flat if you want, but I quite like it rustic like this. Look at that. That's basically 1.5 kilos of potatoes. Last but not least, before I pop it in the oven, I'm going to put a little oil over the top of the potatoes and purposefully use a different herb, thyme. If you put in, you know, 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil, like that, right? And get in there like this, and then squeeze it through. That will guarantee you flavour, but a nice crispy finish. That's a really simple way of making a definitively convincing herb oil. In the oven it goes now for about half an hour, 40 minutes, until golden, blipping and delicious. So in we go. Delish. Okay, so this beautiful veggie shepherd's pie has had 35 minutes. Oh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. What I loved about this, can you see here? Look at that. So we've got that incredible gravy blipping away here, cooking into the potatoes, giving you soggy, tasty potatoes. We've got the crispy potatoes on top, little gnarly, crispy bits here. Look at that, look, sticky bits. Like really, really nice. Like almost like the best bits. Yum. So that, I would treat like a normal shepherd's pie. Gorgeous. Some lovely seasonal greens that you can just toss with a little bit of olive oil. So let's go in for the kill. Come on, let's get in there, into the heart and soul of this beautiful veggie shepherd's pie. Look at that. You can see this is going to feed nicely like a big old group of people. Look at that. Serve this with whatever lovely sort of steamed or boiled veggies you can get your hands on. I've just got a little bit of kale here, mustard and brown sauce. Really, really nice. Not that it's traditional, but a little bit of ketchup as well is definitely the done thing in our house. Enough yapping. Time to have a little taste. And let's get in there. Yummy texture. First thing, the texture, it is very similar to what you get in a typical meat sort of stew ragu. Experimenting, having fun, and being open-minded. So there you go. Happy cooking. That's delicious. It's really good. We're going big on flavour, guys. Creamy coconut and pumpkin rice, and a tongue-tingling butter bean stew. We're doing pumpkin rice. In here, 800 millilitres of boiling water, and then add some coconut cream. And we want 100 grams. Bring that to the boil, and we'll start to scent that with beautiful things. The Scotch bonnet. And they are hot, but they have fruity,
apricot-y flavours that I just love. I want to add some more flavours, pimento or allspice. We just need 4 of these.
It's a wonderfully aromatic West Indian spice, like having cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg and pepper rolled into one. Simmer those along with half a bunch of thyme.
Straight in there. Beautiful. These are the classic flavours of Jamaica.
Bash up 4 spring onions to release the flavour and cut them in half.
And then get it straight in there. We are making pumpkin rice. So I want 400 grams, which will be about a quarter of this little beauty.
Peel, de-seed and chunk it up.
Look at the colour.
Slice up 400 grams of cabbage and get it in. Season with half a teaspoon of salt and pepper, cover and cook for 10 minutes. For the all-important rice, rinse 450 grams of basmati.
In I'll go with the rice. Right, lid on top. 12 minutes of cooking. Let the moisture absorb into it, then we'll switch it off and let it just steam for a little bit. And now we've got enough time to make a really simple but gorgeous bean stew that you're gonna love.
Slice and fry 2 cloves of garlic, the remaining thyme and onion, and 200 grams of juicy ripe cherry tomatoes.
Toss. Next veggie, okra. 200 grams of these, and this is a classic vegetable of the Caribbean.
It's an extraordinary veggie that can be used a bit like green beans. If you haven't tried them before, give them a go.
And then sprinkle these straight in. Come on! Salt and pepper, a lid on top, and we'll let that cook for about 7 or 8 minutes, just until everything's beautifully softened. Let's have a look over here with the rice. The Scotch bonnet here has done its job, and then what we're going to do is take this apart and add this to the beautiful stew, so double use chilli.
Reduce its intensity by removing the skin and seeds.
Add half first. That's a generous half though. In you go. Give it a nice little toss over. Let that cook. Then, very importantly, let's clean down that board. And definitely wash your hands.
Then go in with a 700 gram jar of butter beans, juice and all.
I think that's the biggest butter bean I've ever seen. Look at that. Gordon Bennett.
And just warm them through.
Let's plate this up. Here's the amazing bean stew. It's absolutely smelling gorgeous. And then, of course, the rice. Out of the dark pan comes a little golden ray of sunlight. Look at that. Together, what a pair. I've even got a little extra bit of chili sauce. You have to try this because the taste and flavours are going to be so delicious. The question is, where to start? I say a bit of everything. That Scotch bonnet heat is a thing of joy. That pumpkin rice is bonkersly tasty. This is really, really good.
The recipe I'm going to give you today is a family-friendly, delicious, mild, fragrant veggie curry. Really, really nice. We're also getting towards the end of the Oliver shopping, so we've got no more meat, no more fish in the fridge. So we've got odds and ends, and that's fine. I've got a humble courgette, carrots, bit of parsnip, bit of butternut squash. Of course, you could use potatoes, cauliflower, sweet potato, anything that roasts up, nice sort of like root vegetables, delicious. When you roast the veg, you're really concentrating the beautiful flavours within each individual veg. So tray here, we're going to create a little bit of a landing strip. You could use a curry powder if you so wish. I've got some leftover Madras spice paste here. I don't want much, like a heaped teaspoon is all I'm going to use. Then I'm going to hit it up with some oil. 2 tablespoons will go in there. And then a little bit of vinegar. So I'll mix that up and that will coat them all and season them all in the most delicious way. Easy peasy. Now, in here also I'm going to put a salt and then we're going to go veg. We're going to leave the skins on. A lot of the flavour, a lot of the sweetness and deliciousness is in the skin, okay? And that includes the butternut squash, okay? A lot of people spend a lot of time peeling this. Forget it. Peeling this, forget it. And this, forget it, right? So let's start with the parsnip. Split it in half, then in quarters, then into bite-sized chunks. In we go. With the carrots, I'm just gonna split those in half, all roughly around the same size. Then we have courgette with the butternut squash. Chunk them up again. So in with the squash. Last but not least, humble frozen veg. So there's 6 of us eating this curry, so 6 florets of cauliflower. So just mix all that up. And there you go. Beautiful dressed squash for roasting. Follow me, Jules. So this will go in the bottom of a hot oven, about 190 degrees Celsius, maybe 200, for about 45 to 50 minutes until just beautiful and golden looking. So while the veg is roasting off and getting even more tasty, I want to create like a sauce for them to get stirred into. I'm going to get a big pan on a medium heat. I'm going to get some ginger, thumb-sized piece of ginger, and about the same of garlic, and I'm just going to finely chop it, okay? We're going with some oil, about a tablespoon. The garlic and ginger, put that into your oil, which is heating up. So stir that around. The smell will be incredible. And as that starts to brown off and do beautiful things, I'm then going to go in with 2 tablespoons of mango chutney, and this will start to caramelize a little bit. If you haven't got that, you could cheat with like apricot jam and a little bit of sort of spice from your spice shelf. I'm going to get some tin tomatoes. I've used chopped tin tomatoes. It could be plum, scrunch them up. Could be passata, even chopped fresh tomatoes, delicious. As soon as this has come to the boil, we're going to season it with salt, and I'm then going to add some coconut milk. Now, of course, you could use regular milk, and that'll be fine. It'll give it that sort of creaminess, but the coconut milk gives it this incredible deliciousness. So in that goes, look at that. So we'll bring that to the boil. That is the most delicious, fragrant curry sauce ever. So the minute it comes to the boil, off. So let's check on the veg. They've had about 50 minutes. And if you look in here, hopefully, yes. Look at that, that's what we want. See the charring? That is flavour, maximum flavour. Now, if I just show you up here, I've got the sauce here simmering away. So what I have to do now is get these veggies landing in this sauce. Add a little bit more veg if you want, just a handful of peas, bit of chickpeas. You know, all of this is going to add to it being the most delicious curry. Here we go, lovely people. Daisy is a massive lover, aren't you, Daisy? So there you go, lovely people. There is a delicious meat-free meal. As you can see, it's been decimated. The bread's nearly all gone. Guys, was that a hit?
Yeah!
So there you go. Have a go. Nice veggie curry.
Say hello to a spiced parsnip soup like you've never had before, using Indian-inspired tricks to add show-stopping texture.
Parsnip. You know, one of the cheapest, most humble veggies out there, but it's an amazing sweet flavour and delicious. Let's take 3 for going in the soup and 2 for a little surprise later. I'm just going to take the ends off the parsnip. Now, just to let you know, I spent about 25 years cooking, and the amount of prep, the amount of peeled parsnips I've done in my life is painful. Don't peel them. The flavour is in the skin. It just took me 25 years to work it out.
Hack up the parsnips, then get the soup going in a pan on a medium heat with a tablespoon of olive oil and 1 chopped onion.
The flavour you can get from caramelising this is going to be incredible. Deep, savoury, delicious.
While that cooks for 20 minutes, getting golden and soft, with our other 2 parsnips, let's make some contrasting crispy texture.
And we're going to peel down the length of the parsnip, and we're going to make the most incredible little kind of crouton, right? So this is going to look funky, and it's going to taste crispy and sweet and delicious. Here we've got 1.5 litres of veggie stock. What I'm going to do now is just for 30 seconds, pop this in here, and that tiny bit of cooking is enough to take the rawness out of the parsnips and radically transform the texture.
Remove the blanched strips, saving the stock for later. Lay on an oiled non-stick baking tray, lightly sprinkled with sea salt, and roast for 15 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit.
And they will be delicious on top of the soup. Now, back in the pan, I want a nice 5 centimetre chunk of ginger, a couple of cloves of garlic.
Grate them in, Add a teaspoon of cumin seeds and garam masala for a fragrant hum of flavour.
Now the smell's different level.
And to thicken it up, I want to use red split lentils.
200 grams goes in. They're super nutritious, fantastic source of iron. So it's a brilliant, clever thing to have in your cupboard, but also super cheap. Parsnips cheap, lentils cheap, but this meal is going to taste really expensive. One little secret ingredient that's inspired by our trip is poppadoms. You can buy them in every supermarket, uncooked, right? Just like that. But crack them up, and you can put them into soups and stews. So it's more flavour, more texture. It's a win-win.
Pour in the veggie stock, cover, and simply simmer for 20 minutes. Then get your baked parsnip strips on standby.
They're really crunchy and sweet. They're going to make the best croutons ever. Over here, you can see how it's thickened up. Look how beautiful those poppadoms are in it. It's like little sheets of lasagna. Really gorgeous and surprising.
Finally, sprinkle in some chopped coriander, season to taste, and dive on in.
And then we're going to take these crisps and just put it on top like that. It's completely eccentric and completely bonkers, but most importantly, it tastes incredible. So, let's have a try. Wow.
Well, I'm going to show you my recipe for the most delicious veggie mighty mulligatawny. It's a great soup, it's full of the good stuff. Let me show you how to make this beautiful soup. It's so simple. Get yourself a high-sided pot on a medium heat. I'm going to use spring onions, but you can of course use leeks or onions. So one bunch we're going to use. A couple of sticks of celery, which is just beautifully fragrant. So I'll just cut the celery in half like that, and then lengthwise into little chunks, and just finely chop it. Just put a little tablespoon of oil into the pan, and then as you're chopping each veggie, just get that into the pan. I really love the kind of sweetness that you get from this. So again, just finely slice the spring onions. In we go. So give that a nice little stir. What we're gonna do now is just gonna take it a completely different direction. You're gonna get amazing results with curry paste. They're really good quality. You can get all kinds of different pastes, so pick your favorite. And we're gonna put 2 tablespoons in here. What I love about it is it's a great family dish because you can use up leftovers. But I wanna concentrate today on this. Butternut pumpkin, as they call it in some parts of the world. So 500 grams is about that much. I'll cut this in half. I'll use the end that doesn't have any seeds just to make my life a little bit easier. So I'm going to leave the skin on. Why? Because it's one less job and because it has the most amazing flavour. So very carefully get yourself a box grater and just gently grate the flesh and the skin. There's actually something really nice about the kind of technique of grating. And I find that it kind of just gives you a slightly different flavour. Look at that grated butternut pumpkin. So I'm just going to sprinkle this into the pan, and then let's grate the rest of it. And we're just gonna sweat that off for a little bit while I have a quick little wipe down. So I wanna show you like a little preparation that I love to do. I get a little bowl and I put in some cold water. I'm gonna use the herb coriander. I've got a nice little bunch here and I'm just gonna pick through it. So that top leaf that's nice and beautiful, that will be garnish for sprinkling on at the end. And then with the rest of it and the stalks, I'm just gonna finely slice up and put it into that soup. And look, if you don't like coriander, some people don't, I love it. You could use a little bit of mint, which is really nice. You could even use basil actually. So in we go with the herbs. It smells amazing. So look, at this point, I'm gonna season generously with pepper, and I'll put a nice little pinch of salt in there as well. I'll go in with 2 litres veggie stock. Better the stock, the better the soup. That will remove all the sticky bits from the bottom of the pan, and that'll give you a nice dark colour as well. And then 100 grams of rice. So look, I'm gonna bring that to the boil and then simmer it for about 15 minutes until the rice is beautifully cooked. And you should end up with a really beautiful, tasty, slightly thickened soup that's gonna be a joy to eat. Right, 15 minutes. So this has had just under 15 minutes. I can see already that the rice is swollen up. So it's nearly there. Now, I did say this is a great opportunity to get more veggies into this great dish, right? And we don't just have to use veggies or any leftovers, you can use the freezer. So 2 great things that I always have in my freezer are frozen peas and frozen spinach. So 300 grams of each straight in there. Frozen spinach, sometimes people look down on, they think it's really substandard. It's a really brilliant little veggie to have in your freezer, ready to use. So now the spinach and the peas are in there, I'm gonna give it its last 5 minutes of cooking and I'll serve up. So it's been cooking away for 5 minutes, the rice has plumped up, it's absorbed all that lovely spice and stock. Have a little try of the soup. Oh, delicious. This is a really comforting dish, and what I quite like to do is put some nice kind of sprinkles on it. These are all optional, by the way. So let's serve this up first. Look at that. Such a hearty soup. The colours are really amazing. If you want to, just a little teaspoon or 2 of yogurt allows you to kind of ripple that through. So you can crumble up some poppadoms or some Bombay mix and a little bit of crunch, just a little bit of fun. And then take those lovely coriander leaves and just sprinkle it over the top. Maybe a little kiss of olive oil. So there you go, guys. That is a beautiful, exciting, big, hearty dish. Right, let's have a little try. There's something about having rice in a soup that makes it ultra comforting. So come on, guys, what are you waiting for? Get the ingredients and have a little cook up. You won't regret it.
This is my chili non-carne soup, which is a real winter warmer. It's so delicious. Loads of veggies in there, beans, rice, the butternut pumpkin, that lovely hum of the sweet, smoky paprika. It's a goodie, plus you got the nice crunchy bits of tortilla to enjoy with it. Happy days. Get yourself a nice casserole pan on a medium-high heat. We're gonna start with this, the butternut pumpkin. Take the end off and just cut down the length of the pumpkin. Let's scoop out the seeds. Slice into little chunks like this. I want to get 2 onions, 2 cloves of garlic. Slice up the garlic as thinly as you can, and then finely slice the red onion. Let's just go in with a little drizzle of olive oil. I'm going to go in with the garlic first, and while that's frying, I'm going to take 2 chilies. Now, if your chilies are hot, just use 1, but these are kind of sweet and mild. I'm just going to finely slice these chilies. The seeds are quite hot, so by removing them, it just allows you to celebrate the flavour more than the heat. So already the smells are great. I'm going to use coriander. Coriander stalks are very, very delicious. I'm just going to finely slice these, keep the leaves for sprinkling over later. These stalks here, I'll put in with the chili. Then we can go in with our onions. So if you just sweat off the onions nicely for like 5-10 minutes, you're going to get big flavour, a sweetness, and it's going to kind of just bring all the flavours together really, really nice. Now, with the butternut pumpkin, you might be thinking the skin was left on here. It's delicious and it's outrageously sweet, almost like candy sweet. So the whole lot is going in the pan now. Right, the last thing I want to do to flavour this, because we're taking the meat out, is a brilliant little spice. This is smoked paprika. 1 heaped teaspoon goes in. That smokiness is kind of what you get from meat, and that will make a massive difference. Have 10-15 minutes of moving the veggies around, because that's going to intensify every single bit of flavour, right? If we just throw the wet stuff in, it's just going to be boiled stuff. We don't want boiled stuff. We want an amazing, rich, comforting soup. So look, we've had just over 10 minutes. You can see the caramelization in here, and you can hear that it's frying. And let's add the next ingredients. Let's talk about healthier swaps. First up, mixed beans. You're just getting a way more variety, and it's a brilliant source of fiber. So go in to the pan with the beans, and then 2 tins of water. I'm going to add some tomatoes. So you can crush those through your hands if you're kind of rugged and rustic like me, or you can just mash them in, whatever you like. So another little swap is swapping white rice for brown rice. Okay, so you're gonna get more fiber. You actually get more flavor, which is really, really good. We want 150 grams, and you can let this sort of simmer quite fast for about 20 minutes. Now, the last job that I want to do before I chill out is do some crispy little tortillas. So another healthier swap is going from the white tortilla to the whole wheat one. Right, I love these. They're much more flavor as well. Tear up the tortillas, spread them out on a tray, and I'm gonna put these into the oven just for like 5-10 minutes or until golden. And now I can just chill out. So, the soup has had about 20 minutes. The rice is cooked. Oh, it smells exceptional. Right, tortillas. So these have been about 10 minutes to kind of get crunchy and delicious, beautiful. So soup, it's quite chunky. And some people love that. You can go pureed if you want, but that's not where I want to go. I want a bit of half and half. So get a potato masher and give it a ruddy good mashing. And it's going to give it a much creamier texture, make it more delicious, more intense. Get some of that coriander and tear it through. That, my friends, I'm very, very happy with. So we've got a load of food there. It's incredibly affordable. It's very, very nutritious. It's a really comforting dish. Got some of the tortilla chunk in there. Proper big bowl of tasty soup. Let's have a try.
Okay, dinner time, guys. And I have a great one here for you. I've taken an Italian classic and given it my superfood twist. This chicken and sweet potato cacciatore is a hunter's stew. Rich and satisfying, this hearty meal will fill you up with the good stuff, and all at only 421 calories per portion.
I bet you never thought it could be super healthy and balanced and tick all of those boxes. Yes, I've done it for you. First up, we want some smoky pancetta. Look, it's tiny, thin, little slithers like that. Will it make a difference? Yes, it will.
Slice it up into little matchstick-sized pieces. Then heat a tablespoon of olive oil on a medium heat, and in it goes.
And as it starts getting crispy, I've got some rosemary here, just a couple of sprigs. I've got some bay leaves. This makes all the difference. And herbs do so well in oil. That's how they transmit all their flavour.
Next, finely slice 4 cloves of garlic.
Instead of using loads and loads of oil and the calories going up and up and up, just clever little tips like angling it like that. You can cover all of those bits of garlic. The smell, by the way, is already incredible. We can go in with the 4 chicken thighs here. 1 nice thigh per person. You've got the bone there for flavour. Just by getting skinless thighs, you're reducing the saturated fat straight away.
We're going to roughly chop an onion into eighths. Onions are a simple way to pack in flavour without loading up the calorie content. Then, roughly slice the white of a leek, split the green part, wash it thoroughly, and finely chop it. Leeks are a great source of vitamin K, which helps bone strength.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add something that's not in the classic recipe, just a little bit of chilli. I only want a half, okay? So I'm just going to split this chilli all the way down, and some parts of Italy where I've had this classically done, of course they wouldn't have originally had chilli, but they had black peppercorns and they go quite heavy on it. So I'm just going to kind of reenact that a little bit, and I'm going to put a half in, and the point is this, I'm not going to chop it up so everyone gets it, but I'm going to lose it in the bottom of the pan, and it's just going to be this lovely little hum that adds character to the whole dish. And then at the end, you can take it out, and if you want to chop it up and put it back in, you can, and it's a nice little extra. Okay, so this is softening up beautifully, and that softening is going to create sweetness and flavour and depth. So investing in this part of the stew is really, really important.
I want to add some chestnut mushrooms, so I'm trimming 100 grams of them.
So with the mushrooms, what I'm going to do is just take the end off like that, and I just find that just by removing that, you get this beautiful, beautiful sort of cross-section of the mushroom. And when that's on the top of the casserole, it just gets gorgeous, and I love it. And then these kind of offcuts and trim, there's so much flavour in there. So we just chop it up, throw it in, and it'll get lost in the sauce and be absolutely fantastic. And then on to the sweet potato. I'm just going to cut off little inch chunks like this. And the reason I'm just cutting them quite chunky like this is I want nice, meaty, chunky bits. And as that roasts and kind of stews, it's just going to be Less like a vegetable, more like a protein, more like a meat. Let's turn the heat up now and let's get some sizzle on. And that's when you want to add about 250 mils of some decent Chianti. And if it's good enough to drink, it's good enough to go in here. It's important now to season with a little salt and pepper, and then we'll just adjust it a little bit later. And then one thing that I nearly forgot, 8 olives, okay? Just 8, that's all you need. And I think sometimes we think about olives almost the wrong way. So olives, when you buy them, don't get the ones with the holes in, right? They're salty, they won't taste very nice, and they're never that good, okay? Get the ones with the stones in, different story. And then all you have to do is just squash them with your thumb, and we'll take that pip out, and the flavor's extraordinary. It's kind of not in there to be an olive, it's a sort of seasoning. Go in with 2 tins of tomatoes, and once you've done that, let's half fill these tins and get all the last sort of remnants out of the tin, but also we do need a little bit of water as well. And then just break those tomatoes up, and then we're just gonna give it one last little stir. Just look at that. That is beautiful. That's an amazing one-pot dish. You know, 10, 15 minutes just to put it together.
Now that's going in the oven at 190 degrees Celsius, which is 375 degrees Fahrenheit or gas mark 5 for an hour.
I'm very excited about this. Look at that. First up, look at the way I cut that sweet potato. Just by having a big chunk, it's cooked differently. If you chop it up small, it goes like something you'd see in a soup. But like that, it's just kind of substantial and gorgeous. And you can see that little bit of effort on the mushroom just looks super pretty. Got some lovely, simply cooked seasonal greens. Anything you like, anything you can get your hands on is always nice with a lovely stew like this. I'm gonna serve it with a slice of bread, but remember, you know, this is beautiful with rice, this is beautiful with polenta, pasta, mashed potato, so kind of take it your own way. That is proper food right there.
This really is an easy-to-make, delicious dinner packed full of the good stuff. Bigging up that humble hero that we need to get onto, the sweet potato.
Let's get in there. First of all, let's just check the chicken. Has it gone? Gorgeous and tender. Yes, it has. Look at that. That's exactly what I wanted. Lovely tender chicken. So good. I like getting the old bread and just using it to mop up all the little bits, the sauce. Super good.
I want to show you another delicious superfood meal. We're going to do a gorgeous crispy Asian beef with brown rice noodles and loads of shredded salad and zingy dressing. A lovely lunch or dinner.
It's really nice and simple to make. So 1 pan on a medium heat. I'm gonna get a handful of peanuts, about 20 grams, into a pan like that. Just wanna toast off those peanuts just to wake up the flavors, get the oil going. I've got a kettle of boiling water and I want 150 grams of noodles. Now, there's loads of brilliant noodles available now in the supermarkets. These are brown rice noodles.
So we're trading up from our white noodles. These are whole grain and they've got a whopping 5 times more fibre.
I'm just gonna move it around like that and then pour the boiling water straight on top. So we're not gonna boil them, we're just gonna let the residual heat of the boiling water just kind of be absorbed into the noodle.
Add a little seasoning of salt and give them about 10 minutes.
Basically keep moving them around until they look nice and plump and sort of perfect to eat. These little peanuts here, you just want to char them a little bit, so I don't need to do much more than that. Just going to put them into a pestle and mortar, and then we'll just grind these up. I want to have some big bits, and I want some sort of powdery bits as well. So that's kind of a garnish, but it's going to be delicious. Give these a little move every now and again. You can just see the starch coming out of them into the water. Beautiful. Okay, so in this pan, we're going to add these little babies, star anise. They are so beautiful. The classic flavours of hoisin sauce. And I'm going to put 2 of those in a pan. They'll start to toast up. I'm going to add to the pan 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. I'm going to go in with the gorgeous, lean, quality beef. 200 grams.
So we're only using 100 grams per person, and we want to get these kind of crispy, golden, and full of flavour. Using lean beef mince is a really easy way to lower the calories. While it's frying, peel and chop a thumb-sized piece of ginger and a clove of garlic. Add both to the pan to give the beef a real punch of flavour.
Okay, so let's have a little toss up. And we just want to get that really gorgeous and crispy. You can see the moisture's kind of cooked away now. The garlic and the ginger will start almost like candying, and that's what you want. One last thing I've got to put in there is a little bit of honey, just a teaspoon. Tiny little bit, 1, 2, 3, and off it goes. That's all we need. It'll give it a lovely shine and a gorgeous sweetness. So now, keep your eye on this like a hawk. Okay, dressing. Now, I need a little bit more ginger and garlic, but what I want to do is show you a lovely way of doing a gorgeous zingy dressing. I'm going to use a grater. What's amazing is that little teaspoon of ginger there is more than enough to flavour this gorgeous dressing.
Then grate 1 clove of garlic.
And the lovely thing about raw garlic is it's hot. It's got a real kind of pungency to it. Keep an eye on that lovely crispy bits. Don't go too much. And then chilli, you don't need much. Say half a chilli. Again, grating it. Grating it gives you a different flavour. You can see it splattering juice everywhere. And it's going to give you a lovely warm hum.
Add a teaspoon of low-salt soy sauce and a teaspoon of fish sauce.
Soy sauce and the fish sauce are quite salty, so we're not going to season anything else in this because this will do it for you. So being mindful of salt is definitely useful. And then 1.5 limes. So I'm going to roll these limes like this. I'll reserve half just for putting on the side of the noodle dish because we like that. And then we'll squeeze 1.5 in there. We want it to be sour, salty, hot, fragrant. Have a taste. Ginger's good, chili's good. Maybe a tiny bit more soy. Happy days. What I want to do now is look at the salad. So with a round lettuce, you could use jam or romaine. It's quite nice to mix up the visual appeal. So we've got quarters here. Things like radishes. The humble radish is really good in these gorgeous Asian dishes.
These contain so many nutritional goodies, and they're an excellent source of vitamin C and folic acid, which we need to keep our immune system strong and healthy.
Look out for the different coloured ones. Look at that. Really, really nice. Things like everyday cress, do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be an egg sandwich, just cut it off. That in a stir-fry dish, beautiful. And then onions, finely sliced for sure. You want to make them nice and delicate. And feel free to mix up any veg you can get your hands on. Cabbages, greens, anything crunchy. I'm going to use some carrots here. And if you wanted to, just use a little speed peeler with the carrots and just keep peeling it. And you get those lovely ribbons, which are undeniably beautiful and delicate. So I've got some coriander here. And all I would do is finely slice the stalk. They're delicious and sweet and a little bit crunchy, and we'll keep these leaves nice and whole. So look, there's all our shredded veggies in all their glory. You know what? Cress, radishes, round lettuce, carrots, they're probably the cheapest, most available everyday veggies. With a bit of love, care and attention, you can transform them into things of beauty. Let's have a little look here. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Crispy bits, golden, looking gorgeous. Try and get your timing of these being golden and sizzling and straight from the pan on the cold salad to the last minute. So when it hits the salad, it's like, that's the dream.
Drain the noodles and divide between your plates.
Silky and soft. Those brown noodles have got a nice natural flavour. And then those quarters of salad hit with all those gorgeous radishes, carrots twirled about, the spring onions, you want those everywhere. A little wodge of cress, coriander stalks. And then wait for our golden, crispy beef and just shake that on top. And then, of course, we've got this dressing. Try and pour it in and around everything. Peanuts. Just a wodge. Like that. This is going to be a joy to eat. Happy days. This is absolutely the kind of stuff I love to do in the middle of the week. You can knock it out quick, makes you feel good. So good. Healthy food doesn't have to be boring. This is full of texture, colour, flavour. This is a lovely, lovely dish.
A fresh, vibrant salad in a zingy ginger and chilli dressing, scrumptious noodles and caramelised beef.
440 calories, loads of veggies. You've got your carbohydrates, your protein. It's a really exciting plate of food. It's going to be immense. Delicious, nutritious, and pretty damn quick.
Protein-packed prawns smothered in a punchy marinade, resting on a pile of whole wheat couscous, fruit and veg with capsules of pomegranate providing bursts of sweet joy. This is one sunny celebration of food you won't want to miss out on.
So first up, look at these prawns. We've got 6 of these bad boys.
We're going to add some big flavour with a marinade.
So all I need is 2 sprigs of rosemary. That's all you need. And by the way, rosemary and shellfish, they're not thought of as being like best friends, but I'm telling you, it works an absolute treat. Just give it a good bash up. You know, it's going to help you use less salt because you've got loads more flavour going into your food. Then we're going to hit it up with 2 cloves of garlic, okay?
Garlic is a source of vitamin B6, great for the immune system. Next, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, followed by saffron.
Just a subtle little hit of that is going to give you the most wonderful sort of like barbecue vibe going on. And then a little pinch of saffron. And it gives you the most incredible colour. So that goes in. Now, one thing's for sure is that saffron requires infusion to pull out all of that beautiful flavour. So just a little swig of water. So kind of in essence, we're making a tiny little cup of bonkers tea. So just drizzle in 1 tablespoon of good, healthy, extra virgin olive oil. Look at that. The colour is just amazing. That, my friends, is one hell of a marinade right there. So you could use that on pork, chicken, all sorts of skewers and wonderful things. But this is going to go on our prawns. Now, prawns, inside this beautiful prawn is a little vein that we want to get rid of. Just get some cooking scissors and just cut all the way down the back. It's very simple. It opens up that area and then we can pull out that vein very, very simply. Just like that. And of course it makes it cook quicker, it allows flavour to get in, and also it splays open like a beautiful kind of butterfly prawn.
In longevity hotspots, they tend to choose proteins lower in saturated fats, like seafood. Reducing red meat in your diet will help lower cholesterol and keep your weight down.
Now the prawn is a fantastic source of protein, really, really high in vitamin B12. Now the reason that's a really important one is because it's great for your nervous system and your immune system, so it's fantastic to get your hit of vitamin B12. We are gonna just get our hands in there now. Look at that. That is gonna be a joy to cook and to eat.
I'm taking inspiration from our friends in Costa Rica and trying to get more fruit into your life. We might not have the Marinon or the Spanish lime at our disposal, but a good old orange is a fantastic source of vitamin C.
Toss those also in the marinade. It's such a picture. Such a picture. I mean, look at that. Incredible colours. You know it's going to be good. It's going to cook so well together in the pan, or you could even roast it. So, moving on.
While your prawns marinade, pour boiling water over the whole wheat couscous. Cover and set aside for 10 minutes to fluff up.
Next, veggies. This dish is one of the most exceptional ways to effortlessly get your 3 of your 5 a day.
This veg will add nutrients and fibre to the dish. I'm using peppers, courgettes and asparagus. But use whatever's in season. A variety of colours tend to mean a wider variety of vitamins, so don't be afraid to mix things up.
Last but not least, 1 or 2 chilies, depending on how hot they are. Always nice to get a bit of heat going on in there, but subtle heat. We don't want to blow anyone's head off. It's just a nice little hum.
These fiery favourites are super high in vitamin C and also contain anti-inflammatories.
Let's pour that into our bowl. And we now want to flavour all of this with a lovely, simple, clean dressing. It's kind of St. Clement style, oranges and lemons.
Squeeze the juice of 1 orange and 1 lemon over the couscous.
More vitamin C, more goodness. The sweetness of the orange will balance the acidity of the lemon. And you could add olive oil if you wanted to, but this is fat-free. We're not going to go into the olive oil on this particular one.
Add some finely chopped mint and mix it up.
Use a spoon, but I like to use my personal spoons, which are my hands. Get in there. Look at that.
Time to cook the marinated prawns and oranges.
Every last bit of juice, we want it all in there. As it cooks, the prawns will start to change colour. Have a little toss around. They won't take very long to cook at all. Move everything around so it has full contact with the pan. Can you see this prawn butterflying out? See how it's just opening up as it's cooking? So now we've got nice colour on both. We can kind of toss this around, and that's what we're talking about. Really nice, gnarly prawns.
And the orange slices will now have a lovely, fragrant, caramelised flavour as well.
So let's plate up, guys. I love, by the way, serving this as a share plate, and then we can go around with those amazing prawns. They're so beautiful. The colour's extraordinary. When you do finally squeeze the juice out, that's what we want. Beautiful, sweet, gorgeous, caramelised juiciness. Get all the flavour out of there and pour that over your prawns. Wowzers. Got it all over me. Yeah, the mess has started. You wait till the end of this. It's going to be everywhere. So, we have nearly all the elements of perfection here. We've got our carbohydrates, that lovely whole wheat couscous. We've got amazing protein in the form of those prawns. We've got veggies galore, citrus galore, herbs galore, and to finish off all of those food groups, dairy.
Top with little dollops of mild, cooling yoghurt, a sprinkling of mint leaves, and finally juicy jewels of pomegranate.
Those little capsules of sweetness. Imagine eating the sort of spicy, saffrony, sort of beautiful prawns and some veg, and then that pop of sweetness from that. I mean, look, it's such an incredible colour. So just grab it, put it between your fingers like that, and from a height, celebrate mess, because the mess is going to start now. Just get it amongst it from a height, and just do a Jackson Pollock, mate. You want to create mess. There you go.
Warmly spiced prawns on a bed of rainbow-flecked couscous, and that all-important vitamin C-rich fruit. And like my Costa Rican friend Huber said, why buy something synthetic when you can eat something so delicious? Not bad, rolling in at 572 calories per portion.
So all we have to do now is eat it. And there ain't no polite way to do this. Right, here we go. More juice over the top. Be prepared for a mess. Head off. Get the shell off. Really delicious flavour. Veggie, couscous. It's a complete celebration of everything that's good for you in one dish. What a joy. What a joy.
A rich, hearty superfood black bean stew with bold, smoky chili flavours, topped off with a fresh zingy salsa, rocking in at only 532 calories a portion.
The thing I like about this is it's 485 a day, it's delicious, it's comforting but very, very, very healthy. It's going to be based around veggies and you're going to see so much colour.
All the healthy hotspots I've visited eat a mainly plant-based diet, so we could all do with trying to eat a little less meat.
I never want you to eat veggie dishes because you think you should, or you have to, or it's healthy. I want you to eat them because they're delicious, first and foremost, and then all of the nutritional benefits just follow behind it.
Firstly, we're going to roast off some veg.
So here we got butternut squash, absolutely brilliant, love it. So I just want to carefully half it. Now, it's round. It's got a little skin on it, and if you're not careful, this can be dangerous. So please, please, please be very careful. Tip of the knife goes into the half, go straight down to the bottom, and use your weight to carefully take it down like that. Swivel it around, and we do exactly the same.
For this recipe, we only need half, so take out the seeds and cut into 3-centimetre chunks. Then pop into a roasting tray with a pinch of salt and pepper and a teaspoon of ground coriander.
They're coriander seeds ground up. You can get it in the supermarkets. You can get the seeds and pound them up yourself. Unbelievable with squash.
Add in just a teaspoon of oil.
Get your hands in and just have a little toss up. Notice the skin is on the squash. The skin for me is the best bit. It goes deliciously sweet and candy-like, but also it's where a lot of the nutrients are and the fibre. So really, really good. And squash specifically is really good for vitamin A, so it's good for your eyesight and eye function.
Slice and add 3 peppers to a separate roasting tray.
I really love peppers. Peppers, full of vitamin C, and of course when you roast them, they go outrageously sweet and gorgeous.
Season with salt and pepper, then add a teaspoon of smoked paprika for a big smoky flavour and a teaspoon of oil.
We're going to massage those flavours, seasonings into this. Look at that. That's flavour right there.
Put both trays of veg into the oven at 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 Fahrenheit, for around 30 to 35 minutes.
Get yourself a pan on. I like using a nice casserole style pan. We're going to big up more veg.
To kickstart the stew, peel and roughly chop 2 onions, but reserve a quarter for the salsa later.
1 tablespoon of oil into the pan, just put it to one side, like that. Then we want to use bay leaves, these little bad boys. We want to get in there with 4, 5 or 6. Just get them in to the oil and they'll start to slowly fry, release their natural oils. They smell incredible and they'll give the base of the oil a sort of nice little perfume.
Crush in 4 cloves of garlic.
Then we can go in with our onions. Normally in cooking, you'd want to drench it in oil. And every tablespoon of oil, you're sort of pushing another 120, 130 calories. So let's just keep it clean. Let's be restrained. And what I want to do is really help the natural sweetness of the onion come out without loads and loads of fat. So a lovely way to do it is just take a little cup of water and just stop that frying. That little splash of water sort of stops the hard frying. It sort of dissipates the oil around every single little bit of onion. So it takes a long way. Also, it's sharing all the flavours. And as it naturally sort of cooks down and evaporates, then you've softened the onion to the point where we can turn it right down. Right? And that's the key. With big flavour and vegetables, it is all about intensification and concentrating natural flavours. So roasting does that. And frying slowly does that.
When the onions have softened and intensified, add some balsamic vinegar and turn the heat back up to full whack.
I'm going to add the kind of hero of this dish really, because the powerhouse of this dish is the black beans.
Put 2 tins of black beans and juice into the pan. Half fill both tins with water, swish it about and add back in.
So look, give them a nice stir here, bring it to the boil.
So that's the base for the stew done. Next, I need those gorgeous roasted veg.
The spices, they've stuck to it. So that's real flavour that we've got there. So let's just scrape that into our pan. We'll put in there. And then with the peppers, exactly the same. If I just put a little swig of water in there, that is all caramelisation, sweetness, that's all the juice of the peppers. That's almost like gravy. One more ingredient before we let that simmer, okra. Probably something that a lot of people haven't tried before. You can get it in the supermarkets, you can get it in the markets. This is absolute classic South America, the Caribbean, really, really good. What I love about it is if you finely slice it, it's kind of like a natural thickening agent. So you can put it in stews and soups and stuff, and it just makes it absolutely gorgeous.
Add 100 grams of okra to the stew. Turn down the heat and simmer for 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, time to make an amazing, colourful salsa. Salsas are just dreamy when it comes to contrast. It's going to be like light and shade.
Finely chop the quarter of onion, your coriander, then de-seed and finely chop 2 tomatoes, along with 1 chilli.
Then it's lime time. Just give it a little roll with your body weight. And there's another sort of great excuse for flavour. If you get one of these fine graters, they're a really great tool for superfood everyday eating, because what they do is allow you to extract flavour where maybe you wouldn't have got it before.
Add the zest and juice of a lime and bring it all together.
So salsa done. Look at that. An absolute picture. Time to serve up the best bit.
Serve your smoky bean stew with some brown rice, a dollop of yogurt, and a sprinkle of coriander.
And then, of course, our lovely salsa. Now it's had a little time just to sort of share the flavours, but a nice hit of that salsa. It's all about that. Let's not be shy. Right in there like that. And some of the juice, just pour that over the yogurt. Gorgeous. It's a really humble dish, but it's exciting. It's an absolute superfood classic. 4 of your 5 veg a day. You've got all of those elements you need in your dinners. You've got your carbs, you've got your dairy, you've got your protein, you've got your veggies. Beautiful. Let's try it. Oh, it's delicious. Investing that time in the vegetables just makes them sing. You've got to give that a try. Delicious, delicious dish that has 5 of your fruit and veg in one dish.
How's this for a superfood family dinner to die for? Smoky veggie chili with some nifty nutritional pulses and a Swiss-inspired twist.
I've got my traditional kind of casserole type pan. Let's whack it on a medium heat. Nice. But what I've done is I've put a griddle pan on the heat, okay? High heat. And we're gonna start charring up stuff.
I'm gonna quarter 2 onions, break them up into the griddle pan and char them for 3 minutes.
And then in the other pan, on a slightly lower heat, we're gonna go in with the flavour base.
Kicking it off, a tablespoon of olive oil, a heaped teaspoon of cumin seeds, 2 finely sliced garlic cloves, and 1 or 2 fresh chilies if you can handle the heat, and 2 heaped teaspoons of smoked paprika and cocoa powder.
It has the ability, cocoa, in this dish, to round off all the flavours and make it as one. I love it. And then last but not least, a tablespoon of peanut butter goes into this base. So we'll mix that up. That is the welcoming party to all of these lovely grilled veggies. It's dark, it's got spice, it really is unusual, but you're gonna love it. And you know, I'll put chili in this when I think whether it's kids or just fussy eaters, you can't just throw them into the deep end of a big sort of robust, exciting dish. You might have to just pull it back a little bit on the spice and just sort of slowly, ramp it up, introduce different veggies. But that's the kind of spirit, right? That's why this dish is so great. You can kind of fade it up and down to your own personal preferences.
Into the pot with the charred onions. And next in line for a good griddling, 3 mixed peppers. This will give them a lovely smoky background flavour.
It's not your everyday like chili, right? It's different. I really like this kind of prepping here, charring here, and building the story there. It's a really nice way to cook. So in we go with the peppers. Straight in with the red ones. It's definitely worth not skipping this stage, okay? Because when you dry toast and grill stuff, especially if it's on a barbecue, you achieve all these new flavours.
Cut 600 grams of sweet potatoes into 1 centimetre slices, skin on, and they'll cook down beautifully. Finely slice a bunch of coriander, saving some leafy bits till last. Get the sweet potatoes into the mix, followed by 3 tins of plum tomatoes. Swirl them out and put in 2 tins of water.
The last thing I'm going to put in here is beans. I've got some lovely beans here, butter beans. I'm going to go over to my stew and I'm going to put in the juice. And if you put the beans into the griddle pan, give it a shake and just don't touch it, they'll start to pop and split. Now, why would I do that? Texture. When I was a kid, my mum used to put kidney beans in a chili con carne and I'd pick them all out because they were slimy little things, right? But if you look now, the inside is fluffy. We've got flavour. That ain't no slimy bean right there, guys. That is a bean with attitude. You see, I know I'm a little bit weird because I actually, when I cook, I do watch it like telly. I do go into the oven and I watch things rise and caramelise and cook. And sometimes I bring my kids over and say, look at that, look at that. And they look at me like, you are so boring. But I don't care, I love it. Look, we know for a fact that Brits don't eat enough beans, right? The Koreans eat 10 times more than us, okay? So next time you go to the supermarket, have a look. Get 1, 2, 3, 4 different beans, get them in your cupboard. And next time you do any kind of chilli or stew, have a little pop-up. Get it in there. Little ways of getting the good stuff into your everyday cooking. This is what it's all about. It's not just about my recipes, it's about some of the kind of thoughts, some of the attitudes, up in the veg, getting the beans in there. Just get that into your own cooking.
Get the pot butter beans into the veg, give it a season, and it's ready for the oven. Now here's a little kitchen hack for you. Cover the pot with greaseproof paper.
The greaseproof paper just kind of allows it to slowly sort of cook down and evaporate, but kind of stops it from doing it too quickly.
Along with 8 small baking potatoes, the chili is going to cook for an hour in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit.
So the chili's had an hour. Let's get in there and have a little look. Oh, yes.
Seasoned to perfection, stir in the coriander, and this beauty is ready to serve.
Straight in with the veg.
Grate a little cheddar cheese over the jackets, and for another hit of dairy, natural yogurt. Taken to the next dimension with a pinch of smoked paprika. And a final flourish of coriander. A good, honest, wholesome plate full of food for a hearty dinner, and only 445 calories to boot.
That is so good. Deep in flavour. You've got 5, yes, 5 of your fruit and veg a day in one portion right there. Easy, home run, do it. So let me show you how to make a tomato sauce, but guys, not a normal tomato sauce. Let's make a superfood tomato sauce.
Pour in 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil on a medium heat, 2 sliced cloves of garlic, 2 teaspoons of dried oregano, and fry the lot for a minute. Into that aromatic mix with onions, celery, carrots, courgettes, red peppers, leeks and butternut squash, skin on. It'll cook down nicely.
In the Oliver household, this 7 veg tomato sauce is pretty much always in our freezer. And we use it for simple pasta dishes, spaghetti penne, you can put it in stews, you can put it in curries. You get the drift, right? I'm gonna just, on a medium heat, cook it down, and after 20 minutes, it looks like this. So this is just pure, natural flavour. The sweetness comes out, and you've earned that through patience. So, you know, this isn't Monday to Friday, I'm busy running all over the place. For me, weekend, put it on, get on with other stuff, do whatever you gotta do. We're gonna add 4 tins of tomatoes. Now, a quick tip on tomatoes, you can get passata, it's fine. You can get chopped tomatoes, they're doing you a favour. But if you want the A-grade tomatoes, always buy plum tomatoes, okay?
We need about 2 tins of water, so half fill the empties and swirl around the remaining juices. Simmer for 25 minutes or until the sauce is reduced.
At this point, we've added no salt at all, so let's have a taste. Now, salt's an interesting one, right? Because we don't want to have too much salt in our diet. But by committing to cooking from fresh, on average, your salt consumption is going to be way down. At this point, we want to season with salt, and of course, this is going to have way less salt than many of the pre-bought sauces that you're going to get.
And that's it. Just cool it, blitz it smooth, and Bob's your uncle. Bag it up, squeeze out the air, and follow me to the freezer.
This kind of stuff weirdly makes me happy. I think I'm getting old, okay? What we've got is we'll freeze these down, and then you've almost got like a little library.
And you've got an instant sauce any day of the week, superfood, super fast.
Now the question is, what do you do with it? And I've got an amazing recipe that my family love.
These perfect pasta parcels smothered in mouth-watering 7 veg sauce have got 3 of your 5 a day and only 536 calories a portion.
This is something that is just a lovely thing to do at the weekend. In a way, it's a kind of another batch cook recipe because you can do a batch and freeze ravioli and cook from frozen, and the Italians do it and it's brilliant.
Get yourself 300 grams of fine ground Italian flour. Make a well in the middle, and fill it with 3 free-range eggs. And that's all you need.
I do this with my little kids and we have so much fun, but it's basically making edible Play-Doh.
You can whiz the dough together in a food processor, but I prefer to use my hands. Knead it till really smooth on a floured surface. Cling film it and let it rest for about half an hour. Now, let's have a look at the filling, starting with the butternut squash. Dry roast in the oven for an hour at 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit.
And then we've got ricotta here, which is 1/3 of the fat of a hard cheese. So this is delicious fresh, but I've got a nice little tip for you. What I did was put that ricotta in the squash halfway through. And what happens, you can see it just tightens up and it becomes deeply crumbly.
Lose the skin and seeds and add 15 grams of finely chopped basil. Mash this tasty trio together and season it.
So there you go. That is, my friends, your filling. So let's do the fun bit. We've got the dough here. Of course, using a machine is kind of easier, but just to show that you can do it with a rolling pin.
Break off some dough on a floured surface, get it about 1 millimetre thick and about 12 centimetres wide. And that'll hold a heaped teaspoon of filling nicely. Brush on some water and seal.
Squeeze out the air, and that is your basic ravioli. You can just use a crinkle cutter and you're gonna have that. Just beautiful.
So with the dough you've made, you'll probably get about 24 parcels of goodness.
You're always gonna do a couple of scruffy ones. Don't get stressed about it. You're gonna do some beautiful ones too.
I'm going to cook them gently in boiling salted water for about 2 minutes and let them have a dip in the 7 veg tomato sauce.
For me, this kind of reminds me of when I was a kid. It's the kind of food of my childhood. The only difference is my ravioli came out of a tin and it probably wasn't balanced and it definitely wasn't a superfood, but this is.
Let's top these champs off with rocket, parmesan and a delicate drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Now that's what I call a plate of joy. With 3 of your 5 fruit and veg a day and only 536 calories a portion, super healthy family food with enough in the freezer to dine another day.
Oh, this is so heavenly this weekend. Just give it a go. You're gonna love it. Oh. And I want to show you some different ways to use barley because I really want you to all go out and buy some. All that wonderful fibre, protein and the beta-glucans that we know improve our heart. And today I'm going to use it to go alongside a vintage, old school Guinness and steak stew.
This hearty dinner with tender beef chunks, served with beautiful barley and steamed greens, is a brilliantly balanced bowl of goodness that your family can feast on. So, to kick off this casserole, get a large pan on a medium-high heat.
We're going to go in with a tablespoon of olive oil, and I'm going to add 100 grams of silver skin pickled onions, and loads of us have got these in the fridge, probably from Christmas, that's when I have them. They're peeled, ready and raring to go. And because these are pickled, the acidity throughout the cooking of this stew is an amazing gift, and they give you such a little kick of zing. Then we're going to go regular white or red onion into little petals. I'm going to pick a few little bits of thyme. You could use sage, rosemary, bay, pick whatever you want. It's starting to fry. We're getting some colour and some attitude happening. It's kind of like layering up.
Next, for some chunky winter veg, starting with 3 carrots.
Just centimetre slice. You want them big because it's going to cook for a couple of hours. So you want the veg to stand up to that cooking. It's already looking really, really splendid. Now, I've got a nice everyday veggie here, celery. These lovely outer sticks are fantastic for soups and stews and casseroles. And the heart here, that is the best bit. So often people chuck this bit away, right? No. The best bit is that, right? Look into that. Look how beautiful that is.
Slice the heart and chunk up 2 to 3 sticks of the outer celery. I'll save some of the yellow leaves to garnish with later. Then I want 800 grams of swede.
Often underloved. So I'm just going to cut that in half. And I just want to do nice kind of inch or 2 centimetre chunks like that. Just peel it, slice it up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now you could swap this out for celeriac. You could put, you know, all sorts of veggies in here, pumpkin in the autumn. React to what's around. And I think what's brilliant about this is it's not about kind of fashionable kind of health food. It's not wheatgrass, it's not quinoa. Mate, it's barley. It's stewing cuts of meat. It's root veg. And it's just as delicious and nutritious. And, you know, it means that this beautiful food is for everyone, and that is the most important thing.
Finally, add 20 grams of rehydrated dry porcini mushrooms, 1.5 litres of chicken stock or beef stock, and half a bottle of Guinness.
This is a porter-style beer, and a porter was invented for porters working in the markets. It really was supposed to be sustenance. All the alcohol will cook away, by the way, but dark flavours, malty, really working well with the veg and the beef.
Next, the meat, keeping the quantity low but the quality high.
So I want to show you a cut of meat maybe some of you haven't seen before. It's a skirt steak. I've got 500 grams here, and just having chunks of this is really nice. It's going to be so tender.
Skirt steak is leaner than many cuts of beef. Plus, it's high in the mineral zinc.
So it's really ticking all the boxes here for a wonderful superfood stew.
Season and cover with some damp greaseproof paper.
I'm going to whack it in the oven for about 2 hours. And I'm going to cook that at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And there you go, a beautiful little casserole. It's going to be great.
Now for the real hero of this dish, barley. An ingredient that's been around for hundreds of years. And it's a cheap, easy superfood ingredient that we can all get our hands on.
I'm going to cover 450 grams in a nice amount of water.
And when the stew has just 45 minutes of cooking left, gently boil.
Casserole in, pearl barley ready, happy days.
2 hours later, we're in a great place.
The pearl barley has been boiling away here for the last sort of 45 minutes. Have a little look, it's plumped up, it's lovely. And while that pans on, that's an excuse to put a colander there, and I've steamed, just for 5 minutes, some beautiful veggies. So I've just got chards, kales, Savoy cabbage, nice leafy greens, okay? So we don't want to overcook it. We're cooking it really, really pure and nice.
The stew, which has been ticking along in the oven, is also ready.
Very exciting. There you go. Comforting food. Food that just makes you feel great. And you can see how the meat is just flaking and pulling apart like that. Absolutely delicious. And the thing is this, right? We've used less red meat and a leaner red meat, but we've bulked it out and made a beautiful, tasty dish. That's great.
Time to serve up. Drain the barley, and then I've got a great tip to turn this hero ingredient into a firm family favourite.
What I'm going to do is add 1 or 2 teaspoons of mustard, depending on how you like it, right? So I'm going to go 2 actually today. That is fantastic with a little cheese. Now I'm going to use 20 grams as a kind of seasoning, right? It gives you the most terrific, silky, delicious barley. A little salt and pepper, and we are ready and raring to go.
Whoever said being healthy had to be boring or restrictive?
You're going to be absolutely stuffed full of the good stuff.
Pimped up barley, so tasty and so good for you. Old school beef and Guinness stew, soft and comforting.
A nice big steaming wodge of greens. Simple, wholesome, good food.
And all for under 600 calories per portion.
Absolutely gorgeous. That barley is unbelievable. Everything that we love about mashed potato and rice, but this lowers cholesterol. It's a game changer, and most importantly, delicious.